Basically, if they start off by making you feel very uncomfortable and very pressured, then I would just take a step back and be like, okay, well, I need to call somebody I trust, or just breathe for a few minutes and go on my day for a few hours, and then try to revisit it and see if it's still an issue, which is probably not going to be. Road IT support, I have a long paragraph here because this is the process that they go through. You guys click on the wrong site, or it's gotten very bad because a lot of the sponsored links on Google or Bing have been scams. So I would just ignore all the sponsored links altogether. But let's say you're going to look for an HP printer cartridge, or you're going to look for an alternator for a 96 Ford. If you don't look at the sites that pulled up as far as like being your search results, if you click on the wrong one, you could get pulled into this whole scam network. So what happens is they either you call them or they call you. They pretend to be from Cox or Microsoft or Norton or McAfee or any of the places that sound legitimate. They say, you've got viruses on your computer, go to this website and I'll show you what they're doing. You go to the website and click enter, that lets them have remote control of the computer, mainly because of one reason, which is you're still logged into an active profile on your computer. We'll talk more about that later. They tell you it has been sending errors. They take you to a few sites that look legitimate, like this is the kind of error message you're getting, this is the kind of viruses you have, and eventually they try to get you to pay them some kind of a sum, or get you to go get gift cards, or wire money, things like that. So just things a few things to look at, but mainly if they ask you to go to a website and put in an address, then it's definitely not legitimate. Virus detected scams. These are called pop-ups, and these happen a lot when you guys are on, again, sites that are not legitimate sites. So it'd be like you're looking for something and you click on the wrong address, or a site that's not correct or sponsored link. Anytime you guys see this, first thing I would do is turn off your computer, turn it back on, and see if it's gone. If it's gone, you're probably fine. If it's not, then you should close it out, power it off, and take it to somebody else or another IT person that you trust.
Yeah, I had one that was supposedly from Microsoft. First thing I did was call my grandson, who's in IT, and he said, just turn it off.
Yeah.
So,
Restarting it fixes, I don't know, 85% of the time. Restarting it fixes that, so I'm glad they use their help. But yeah, so you guys get these and they don't go away after a restart, then I would contact somebody you trust. Ransomware. Ransomware is the biggest one, money-wise. If your computer legitimately gets ransomware, like you cannot do anything, you can't turn it off, you can't do control, delete, you can't do anything at all, and it's legitimately locked, and they BitLocker and encrypted it, about all we can do is just replace the hard drive, put a new copy of Windows on there, and get that computer back up and running for you, but that hard drive could be locked up completely. This is where people feel the need to pay a ransom, and they usually pay with Bitcoin. One thing about paying a ransom, if that money is then led to a terroristic activity, you can be charged with terroristic felony as well, because you supported terrorism. So the rule is don't ever pay it, but some people do. And unfortunately, more often than not, it's cities or counties or big municipalities or big companies that are actually paying the ransom, which I don't know how they get away with it, but I do know that I've been to the ICT website, and they do say that you can be charged with a felony if that money is then led to terroristic activities. So just don't be afraid. It's going to happen. They're going to release your information on the dark web. Your information is probably already on the dark web as it is anyway. I just wasn't losing any sleep over it. Most of it's just threats. Social media hijacks. People don't, when they think about trying to secure accounts, they don't think about how important it is to secure social media accounts, and it is. All of your social media accounts, along with all your other important accounts, should have two-factor authentication or multi-factor authentication turned on. The reason why that's so important is because have any of you guys got a message from somebody that was a friend that says, hey, this is Tom, you have somebody that you know that was your friend, like on your Facebook friends list. Hey, this is Tom, I'm in a hard spot right now, can you send me $200? Any of you guys got those?
Gotten people that said they're friends. They haven't gotten to the point where they ask for money before I ask them a personal question. I'll get an answer.
Right. So just to help prevent that from happening to your friends, Set up two-factor authentication or multi-factor authentication on your accounts, which means that you're going to get an additional step in conjunction with doing your password. You're going to get like a text message or an email to verify your account. If it just helps your friends not get something from you, that's even one better. It also goes with emails as well, because once you get on somebody's email, then it sends out emails to all your clients, all your customers, and it asks for money or information. But yeah, if you guys can help prevent that for your friends, then that's even better than not doing anything at all. Clickbait is anything that tries to get you guys to do, like, see what your friends from high school are doing. See what this person, 9 things no one knew about Princess Leia. But a lot of these kind of clickbaits have those pop-ups, and that's why I would avoid them. Those pop-ups are really rife on all of these sites here. So make sure you guys try to avoid kind of those clickbait sites. SMS text messaging. This is a broad shotgun approach. They send out thousands, millions of text messages. The problem comes in when one of those text messages comes across your phone that's actually a company that you deal with, like Bank of America or CenturyServe or one of these companies you guys actually have an account with. And if you're like, hey, this is a fraud alert, or you need to log back into your account. And that's how they get you with this one, is they get your information when you log back in by clicking this link. It looks like a legitimate login, but it's not. It takes you to what something looks like that site. You put all your information in. It says, I'm sorry, your password didn't work. Please try again. And you try like 4 different passwords. Now they have 4, 5, 6 different passwords that you have for your accounts. Then they take those and your email address, because you already put your email address in for the account. And they just go through and see if that works on your email account. They take that over, and it just snowballs. So if you get a text message from a company that you have dealings with, I would stop. I would go back and call that actual company, look on their bill, look them up on Google, as long as you're not looking at the sponsored links. Call them if you know them, but definitely do more research than clicking on links in your telephone text messages.
Well, and right now I'm getting a ton of them for all the Trump said this.
Oh yeah, campaign ones too.
Like every day I get
Yeah.
on my phone.
Messages, yeah.
Yep.
My phone is putting most of them, blocking them and putting them in a scam.
Smart.
There's a couple that still show up, but most of them are,
Yeah, I delete and block. But
Yeah, I
it's
really
good.
would want as well, but
these are automatically being blocked.
Yeah. So that's a big one right now too.
Tons of
something to
them.
look for.
So who's affected? Who's vulnerable? So in 2021, it was $6.9 billion. But we mostly have business email compromise. This is where the biggest majority is, $2.4 billion by itself. Second is investment scams and frauds. People getting fraud out of their 401ks, their retirement accounts. Third would be romance scams, which thankfully, we haven't had any customers come in so far with a romance scam. At the same time, that might be a bad thing because people aren't comfortable with saying, hey, I come in and got scammed on a romance scam. So we probably don't get a lot of those customers coming in because they just don't feel comfortable with it. And this is stuff that's reported, so there's a lot of stuff that doesn't get reported out there. 4 is personal data breaches. 5 is real estate rental schemes. And 6 is tech support scams. This is what I see most frequently. These we read about, but this is what I see on a daily basis. We have probably 2 or 3 people come in that have been scammed every week, or almost scammed. Complaints over losses over the years. Like I said, 2018 it was 2.7 billion. In 2022 it was 10.3. I haven't had any results for 2023 yet, but it's just growing exponentially. So it's not going to get better. It's just going to continue to get worse. Yeah, it's just going to get bad, and they're getting more and more authentic looking. Their scammers are getting more better English speaking people. It's just a huge industry, and it's a hard battle because when you find one of these centers and they go, FBI goes and raids them, they just close up shop and open up shop, down a block down the street. By age group, 20 is the least affected right now. This is 2022 information. The most affected is people over 60, and then just basically as the age group goes. So you guys may be the best of the best as far as trying to prevent these kind of things from happening, but talk to your aunt, talk to your uncle, talk to your grandma, talk to your grandpa, talk to your nieces and nephews, talk to your great aunts, whatever. Let's get this information out there. That's the important part. Helping them understand what they need to look for And just to have a little click go on in their head that says, okay, I want to stop, take a step back, and reassess. Victims by count, phishing has the most victims by count, tech support has 35,000, ransomware is 2,300, and malware is 762. So phishing by far is those emails that come through that say, your Amazon package has been delayed because we don't have your correct ship information. Click in here to log back in. Those are the biggest ways to get people scammed. Just some quick examples. This won't take very long. Local business here, Salina. Somebody from Cox called them and said, you've got viruses on your system. Please go to this website here. And they had 4 or 5 computers on it. Yeah, 4 computers on their system. They had to go through and wipe all the hard drives and restart on everything. But luckily, they didn't lose any money, but they did lose some data. Train and Vein Tattoo. He had a social media account, got taken over by another company, and they posted all these sites about how send in $200, we're going to get you $800 worth of tattoos, or some kind of like scam like that. And people send in lots of money. Had to start another account that's basically you had to tell everybody that it wasn't him. So, but in fact, imagine how much time it took and how much business he lost or customer he lost because that happened. This is why it's important to use two-factor authentication, multi-factor authentication on your social media accounts as well. This is one of the big ones I had in 2019, until the other one happened here in 2022, 24, for another 11 grand. But what happened here was he got a pop-up, said you have viruses, he called the number, let him on their computer, they locked everything out, and then told me he had $22,000 worth of Cabela's product recharges on his Cabela's card. He did have a Cabela's card because they go through and look for stuff like that, like accounts you have. He got nervous, got scared, and they ended up going out and getting, I think, 2 $4,000 gift cards, and then another $3,000 one from Walgreens. Finally, I think the next place, they stopped him and told him to go home because he was getting scammed. But, I mean, $11,000. And what's funny about this one is that they also spoofed her husband's phone, because they turned his phone off completely, like shut the phone off power-wise. And then the next day, she gets a call from her husband's phone number, and they said, "Hey, where do you get the rest of those gift cards for us?" So they are just relentless. And like I said, once an area has been affected and looks like an easy target, they just continue to target that area more and more. This is part of that last one. This is what they put on there. This program, Advanced Identity Protector, was designed to help you. That's what the intention was designed to help the customer. What it does is you install on your computer, it goes through your computer and looks for any personal information, phone numbers, emails, contacts, social security numbers, credit card numbers. It looks for all of that, and those files that those numbers are in, it locks them in a vault. And that vault is locked usually by credentials you would put in there. But if somebody gets on your computer and installs this, and they lock it out with credentials they have, now that information is just gone. So this is a program where it's designed to be something that's supposed to be very, very helpful, and it turned out that the ones you're using are the scammers. So, 74-year-old resident was scammed out of $19,000. This is a cybersecurity, this is I think it's Craigslist, where he wired $19,000 and then didn't get anything. So just don't wire money unless you guys have some physical documents, part of it, take ownership of the vehicle, something. $2,000 Craigslist scam for a 42-year-old man here in Salina. Claimed to be their elderly parents were moving to Salina. They wanted him to be a driver for them. Driving a couple around town as needed for medical appointments, shopping trips, and other errands. As part of the deal, the car was to be shipped to the man of Salina. They said that the man sent them a check for $24.20. Check was used from Denison County Electrical Associates in Denison, Colorado. He was instructed to deposit the check and keep $420.30. He sent them 2 Western Union transactions back, and of course, then they reported as being fraud, and they get their money back. So, this is the one that happened this year, another $11,000. Same exact thing pretty much happened. They transferred $10,000 worth of Bitcoin, and I think another $8,000 or $1,000. Here's 8,000 Bitcoin, 3,000 to get to our 345 release. I'm glad that I'm broke and I don't have the money to take it. But if you do, then it can add up really quickly. And then sometimes it's fear, like they're going to release all my personal information online. Well, it's probably already out there anyway in the dark web somewhere, but you can't be afraid like that because it's just they're going to do it anyway. Either this process will continue, like, hey, we're going to do it, we're going to do it, and you just send us another $2,000, send us another $3,000, and eventually they're going to sell it on the dark web anyway, so there's not really much point in giving away that money. And these are all here in Salina, these are all local. And these are some other semi-local ones. Independence, Missouri, the whole township got ransomware in 2020. They won't say what they did to get their information back, and they won't release how much they paid for ransom. But I know they paid some. German Medical Center is ransomware in 2019. They paid some. I don't know how this stuff isn't public information. You think that they would force them to tell you how much they gave them.
It's not a public entity.
I know.
It's a private.
But it's just like, it should be
Well, I mean, independence.
police, yeah. Bowery Clinic, data breach in 2021, patients notified, we were affected. Yeah, everybody been affected with that one. Salina Family Healthcare, ransomware in 2017, over 77,000 patients notified of breach. Great Plains Kubota, ransomware, that one was pretty hush-hush too. I even called about that one, trying to figure out some information, and nobody would tell me anything. ADCO got ransomware. One of our employees' fathers works for them, and they were out of work for like 2 or 3 weeks before they got their systems back up. Kansas entire court system, yes, this happened last year, and it was still going on until early this year. This is a big one. All those records got released. People trying to figure out how to get the systems back. There's a company called Tyler Security in Texas that was providing security for that, and I'm still trying to figure out how they can charge $10 million for these services and not have any kind of sort of repercussions for what they didn't prevent. But anyway, Ottawa County, they paid over $71,000 in ransomware. This is 10% of what the original request was. They usually send out a big number like $710,000, $1 million. They almost settled for $71,000. That's still a huge payday for them. K State University had ransomware in 2024.
It messed things up for a long time.
Yeah. Salina Goodwill had a data breach in 2022. These are just some semi-local or within Kansas areas as well. So, any questions before we go through what not to do or what to do to help prevent this stuff? Logging out of the admin profile. In the design of trying to make things easier for you, when you guys buy a new PC, whether it be from Mac or PC, like HP or whoever, you're automatically logged into the administrator profile. That allows you to do all the things you need to do, whether it be install your current software or install a driver. That's sort of the intent. The problem is, when somebody gets on your computer, they can immediately start taking over the admin profile and start installing software right then, and they do it very quickly. While you're trying to look at these things they're showing you, they're installing software. So the best thing you do is log out of your administrator profile, create a standard user that you use on a regular basis, have the administrator profile if you guys need to install or uninstall a bunch of stuff, and then just use your standard user for almost everything else you do. You'll have an administrator password when you do this, so that way if you do install a printer, just say, hey, enter your administrator password. And if that comes up when you guys aren't installing something or aren't uninstalling something, then I would be very suspicious that I would restart the computer as well. But definitely log out of your administrator profile. And with all of these, if you guys, if it sounds like gibberish, it sounds like Greek, get somebody to trust, whether it be us or anybody else, a trusted person in your life, to help you guys through this stuff.
So how do you log out of the administrator profile?
You create a new user, whether it be like bin or user 2 or standard user, you can call it whatever you want. And then that user you create is almost always already set up for being a standard user, not an admin user. Then you go and you log out of your admin user, and you log into the standard user, and you just use that profile and use the password when you need to install something. With that, don't leave the password blank, like you just don't have a password, because what they do is they just hit enter immediately if they see that password request. put a password on your administrator profile. And the standard user, you don't really have to have one if you want to, but you're not an admin, so you can't just start installing software automatically. Multi-factor authentication, two-factor authentication. Again, what that means is that you have an additional layer besides just your password. So you password is password 123, you put that in, then it sends you a request for either a text message or a number for email, and you put that in as well. That's a two-step verification process. You should have this set up on any of your accounts that are important, social media accounts, credit cards, banks, any you guys think of this got information that would be important for them to get. Emails especially is a really critical one. This should be turned on every account that you have. And some of them have to be turned on individually. If you do one for Facebook, you do one for your Bank of America, you do one for your email. You have to turn them all on individually. We sell password books because they're account based. You can have like your Yahoo account, your MSN account. You draw on here by account name with your password. As you change it, you can either erase it or line it out to another one underneath of it. But that's the point it's gotten to. Password managers are only as good as the security that they have. I'm still on the fence on whether or not they're actually better than not having a password book. But they are helpful as long as they're not getting scammed or they're not getting their data breached. Because then all of your information is still out there. Don't click. Of course, that sounds like an easy one, but you guys see those ads, you guys see those emails. Don't click those stuff. Just ignore it. If it's from Cox, if it's from Amazon, call Amazon directly. Call Cox up directly. I was trying to get a hold of somebody, and it was for something medical because I haven't had any stuff recently. That's pleasant. But they called me back because it was a question I had, and they were trying to ask me for information, and I'm sorry. I was like, I'm sorry, I can't verify that to you because I haven't verified who you are. And they said, okay, well, just call us back. And that's what I did. Because I can't verify who's calling me and asking me information. And I'm not just going to give it all to them. Like, what's your date of birth? What's your social security number? Oh, okay, well, that's enough. But don't click on stuff. That's the important thing. When you get, if you do get a message that has a phone number on it, or let's say you call that number that's on the top that says, you've got viruses, click here, call this number. If you call that, they are very good about trying to get you to, well, you just talk to my supervisor, here's their number. And then you call that number. Well, that number just goes to somebody else in that same call center. So don't call the numbers that they give you. No company should ever call you and ask you for any of your information, especially if it's not something that you're actively trying to deal with, like when I was trying to deal with a medical center for urology clinic or whatever. They should never call you and ask for any information unless you've already preemptively tried to do something. Like Cox should never call you, Norton should never call you, McAfee should never call you, Microsoft should never call you and ask you for information. You get a pop-up telling you that you have viruses, shut down the computer and restart, run antivirus software, and see if it goes away. If it doesn't go away, usually that's built into the browser. So if you downloaded Chrome, if you downloaded Firefox, what you can do is uninstall that program and reinstall it. And then if it doesn't go away, say call somebody that you trust. Shred or destroy all personal information, documents, credit card, etc. Anybody knows what happens when you guys put the trash out?
It's no longer your property.
It's no longer your property, it's public domain. So anybody can just go out and grab your dumpster, dump it in the back of their truck, and go on about their way and grab all the information that you have in there, like unshredded letters. It's just public information, public available information at the time this occurred. So shred everything that you guys have personal information on. Strong passwords. Here's the most common, I think 13 or 15 passwords.
Yeah.
If you guys have any of these, change them tonight. And just leave early to go do it now. Any of those look familiar? Anybody ever have any of those?
Nope.
Nobody has a password?
Nope.
That's good. Most thing you're trying to find is an uncommon one, uppercase, lowercase, a number, special character, and at least 12 characters. Uncommon means don't use words. Use your favorite poem and use that as an acronym. Like if your favorite poem is like 14 words long, use that as an acronym and then throw in a mixture of uppercase and lowercase and special characters. Do all that kind of stuff that you guys can do. Don't use personal words like, don't use words like this, like I love you, that monkey dragon, passwords, cowboys. Use acronyms, use letters, use numbers. mix it up. If you want a generic password that you want to use, there's password generators out there that don't keep your information, they just generate a password. You can tell how long you want it to be, what kind of items you want to have in there, and it'll just generate this key, and you can just copy that, post it in there, and then write down your password book. So make sure you have strong passwords. Back up your data to the cloud and local. We recommend having a 3-pronged approach. One is the data's on your actual computer home, that's where it's at. 2 would be another local backup, that'd be a backup external hard drive, or a jump drive, or thumb drive. Although be careful because jump drives like this one, I guess I put it in there. Jump drives like this, the tiny one, aren't designed for long-term storage. These are designed to move data from place to place, not to keep it on here for years and years and years. You'll go through and then 5 years later you pull this out of the drawer and it had the last pictures you had of your grandfather before he passed away, and this won't work. It just pop it in there, it just doesn't work. So don't use these as long-term storage. Use an external hard drive. Use what they call a NAS, which is network attached storage, or use an offsite backup. So take that backup and move it away from your house, move it away from your the building. Put it in a safe deposit box. But back up your computer and then have that offsite or have it local. But the problem with having it local is if you have a tornado or a fire, that's going to be affected by it too. So most people, we recommend just having a secondary backup and then putting that one into your sister's house or a safe deposit box. And the third prong of that is cloud. Amazon has unlimited photo storage. If you have an Amazon account, you have unlimited photo storage. You guys can just store all your photos for free. You can get a Google Drive, you can get a Microsoft OneDrive, you can get Amazon storage. To find a cloud backup for the very important stuff. I'm not talking about like a meme that you shared. I'm talking about like vital information like your marriage certificates, death certificates, last pictures you have of somebody, anniversaries, weddings, things like that. You want to make sure you have those at least stored in two or three different places. If you do get infected, like something you can't fix, you restart it, you try to do Control-Alt-Delete, you try to do things to get this computer to stop doing what it's doing, and it's still doing it, shut it down, turn it off, and bring it to somebody that you trust. You can also change your Wi-Fi password. If the computer, most people can understand that turn off the computer doesn't mean you have to unplug it. But you can turn off your Wi-Fi as well if you want to, change your password, alert credit cards and banks. At the point that this kind of stuff that happens, or you call that number and you let them on your computer, at that point you should just consider yourself being a victim of identity theft, and try to alert all your banks, credit cards, everything you can to change all your passwords, everything you can do, just try to prevent anything from happening further. Ensure your Wi-Fi router is protected with at least WPA2 security. Who's got a router or modem that's older than 5 years?
Maybe. Maybe.
If you haven't changed your modem and router out in 5 years, you probably need to get a new router and modem. Because the security changes have come through that are significantly better, and the router will perform much better now than it did in the Wi-Fi 4, Wi-Fi 5, Wi-Fi 6 years. Wi-Fi, just like your iPhone, goes through different generations. Currently on Wi-Fi 7, most people have Wi-Fi 4 or Wi-Fi 5. Security's gotten better, the performance has gotten better, so maybe look at getting to a new router if you guys have an issue.
If you're a subscriber, for example, AT&T, which is we once had, can you request from them a
Yes.
new router?
Yes. Now, most companies charge you for that. They'll charge you, Cox charges you like $10 or $11 a month. Next they will charge you $10 or $11 a month. You can just go out and buy one and not be charged that monthly fee. But there's two different pieces. Cox is combining now to one. There's combined units called modem router combos. A modem does one thing, a router does another thing. So the router's part is the security part. So you can replace your modem, you can replace your router. I find that two individual pieces work better than one that's a combo unit. But it's up to you guys. Just I would look into that because there are better secure devices out there now.
So is WPA2,
The security protocol.
it just is on whatever? I don't know, we have it. I know we're good, but
Yeah. So it is
Protection.
an
is
automatic
that just
setting.
something, yeah, I don't
It didn't used to be something that you turn on. Now it's set as a default that this is on.
Okay.
Or you can turn it off, when you go through the setup process, you can turn this off. So it just depends on how the person had it set up and when they set it up for you. So if your grandson came in and set it up for you, maybe they didn't set it up and then turn it on. It's just something you should be aware of.
What's the DPA stand?
I don't know. And,
Rural Protection Agency.
Yeah, application protocols, I can't remember. It's just one of the security, there's WPA3, there's a couple different methods out there for security. It's basically encryption for your router.
We have a button that says WPS.
UPS, but that's the, you should turn that off. That's another thing you turn off. But that was designed to be able to make it easier for you to like link your printer with your system and link your camera with the system. You push that button in to have this automatic feature, but those aren't very secure. Just once they're turned on, then anything can connect to them. And if somebody's out there like outside, they can actually connect to your Wi-Fi, so you turn it on. But I would turn those off. Log directly to the company's website rather than clicking on a link in the email or website. Again, like I said, if you guys get an email, just go on your Amazon account. Don't go click on that Amazon link. Don't allow remote access to go to any websites they tell you to go to. If somebody on the phone says go to this site, if you get on Microsoft Chat and you're trying to get Microsoft support from Microsoft directly on the Microsoft website, and they say, okay, well, I need you to go to this remote site, then maybe that's not considered. But even at that point, I would still be like, okay, I'm not sure if I'm comfortable with this. I'm going to go get somebody who can help me, and somebody that I trust can do this without me potentially losing all my data or having a secure computer. Don't go by the number they give you. If they say, hey, well, you can just call my supervisor, here's the number. Well, of course, that's not their number, so it's not a legitimate number. Gift cards, crypto, and wiring money. Those three things are huge red flags. If anybody tells you to go get a gift card, go get wired money, go get crypto, immediately, that's 100% scam. The downside, the bad part about, you guys know why I do gift cards, crypto, and wiring money? It's because you can't get it back. It's a legitimate transaction. If you go out and buy a gift card, it's a legitimate transaction. Your credit card company's not going to give you that money back, even though they know it's fraud. It's a legitimate transaction. They've got it. It's gone. Whereas before, they used to start stealing credit card numbers and selling credit card numbers, but the credit card companies would have to get that money back. Now they don't do that. They just do gift cards and crypto and wire money because they know it's a legal transaction and you can't, you're SOL and you cannot get it back. There's no recourse.
Yeah, my grandson had a computer and he wanted a gift card, a Steam gift card for his birthday. And I went to Walmart and I was going to buy a couple gift cards, and I did, but at Walmart they asked me, do you know who you're giving this to? I said, yeah, it's for my grandson.
A lot of people are getting more aware.
Yeah.
And they said, well, just so you know, this is what scammers are using.
Yeah, several of the people that have been come to us and have had scam issues have been stopped because somebody that was nice at Walmart or nice at Walgreens has helped them. So said, look, I think it's on here somewhere.
The banks.
I've got it on this list that you guys have in your hand, but if they say, well, I want to stay on the phone with you while you go do this, again, 100% that's a scam. No, nobody from Microsoft's going to say, okay, well, just stay on the phone with you while you go over to get this gift card for me. So that's another good giveaway. Do not give any credit card or personal information. That seems like kind of obvious, but it needs to be repeated. Don't be afraid to contact the police, FBI, FTC. Even if you do not lose any money, you should report a scam attempt. There's 3 different sites which you guys have on your paper. One is the local police, a non-emergency line. One is the FBI, Internet Crime Complaint Center, ic3.gov. You can go on there and fill out a form saying, hey, I was attempted scamming. I'm not sure why I'm still holding this. There's an attempted scam. Tell them all the details. Try to get the information from phone numbers that they called from, what they told you to do. Try to get as much information as you can. And the same thing with the FTC. Go on here and report Federal Trade Commission complaint. And of course, if you guys have any issues or any of this sound like gibberish, just call. That doesn't have to be us. Call somebody that you guys trust to handle those IT issues for you. So, what questions do you guys have? Did I answer them all?
I have a question.
Yes.
Is there a legislative role here? Could our Congress be protecting us better?
It's really hard. I'd like to say yes, but like I said, these companies are mainly coming out of India, some coming out of Eastern Russia. It's really hard for them to have any weight because these guys will close down one night and be open up somewhere else the next day. They've got service centers that'll just be ready to go the next day. So there are places in the U.S. that are trying to go after them, but with a billion people that can just go anywhere, it's just really hard. I don't know if they can do anything legislatively unless it's like trying to curb phone calls coming in from certain countries, which of course you can't really do. I don't see any productive way to really prevent this from happening other than educating the public. Sadly. There are cyber companies, this whole division here, IC3, that specifically was brought into existence because of the need for this state safety. What other questions?
How bad is malware?
Malware is pretty bad because once malware is on your computer, you don't know what it's going to do. It all has a role. It all has some kind of design. It could be so they can turn it on later and get on your computer. It could be so they can watch your webcam. It could be because they want to just track all your keystrokes. But it's bad. Windows comes with a built-in antivirus, which I think is fairly good. It's called Windows Defender. Every Windows computer comes with it. It's Windows 10, Windows 7, Windows 11. They all have it. You should run scans monthly and look for, and not just a quick scan, but like a full scan. It should be set up to do a quick scan every night anyway, but you should do a full scan at least monthly. And keep the virus definitions up to date, which should be okay if you have the Windows Auto Update turned on. That should automatically update those definitions.
Let's say we do want to use your services, and I have a laptop. Would I bring it in to your
Oh yeah,
office?
just bring it in, drop it off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What if, like, do you ever work with the person, like, to show me where do I click?
Yeah, we do trainings, yeah. But the library can do trainings as well. We would have to charge because it's our time, but the library does classes. You can actually call them and schedule a training, a one-on-one training they can do over there. They have classes as well, like group classes as well as one-on-one trainings for free. So I always try to use the free resources when I can.
Yeah.
But yes, if you like,
security aspect of it, you mean?
as far as I know, and I haven't been over there I've talked to them on the phone, but I haven't been over there to see how their services go. But I think it's pretty, it's enough to be able to be compliant with like how things are working on the computer and what you need to look for. I can't say how much depth they go into with their knowledge.
We're always getting ads from McAfee and Norton, and are those better than Windows Defender or what?
Every computer we've had has come in that has had a scam happen. Has had McAfee, Norton, sometimes multiple of the three, Avast, Capacity. They've all got them. So obviously it doesn't help you because the main reason is it can't stop you, the user, from clicking on it. And it doesn't matter how good the antivirus is, it can't stop you from clicking on something. So I personally don't see the need to pay for an additional service for usually about $100 per year to have that because I don't see any additional benefit. More like good common practices on the computer is way better than having an additional Norton and sometimes if you have multiple antiviruses on your computer, they fail each other because they think that, okay, well, Norton's going to get it, well, I thought McAfee's going to get it. So then they mess up and they don't find it because they're both trying to compete at the same time. So there's all kinds of issues with having antiviruses. I don't see a benefit for the money. Sure.
Oh, I was just going to say with the library, my experience has been that, they aren't particularly up on Mac products.
Okay, yeah. That might be something we could reach out to them and say, hey, do you have anything that could get more versed in the Mac universe? But I could agree with that. We do Macs and PCs at our store, but it is rarer that Macs get viruses, not because they're less susceptible, because they've had such a small market share compared to the Windows. If you have a company that has 80% of the business versus a company that has 20% of the business, which one are you guys going to focus on trying to go after? And that's why PC has gotten such a bad rap for so long, because they have 80% of the market share. Apple is steadily going up, and now you're seeing that Apple's starting to get viruses as they start to get more market share.
Well, that's exactly where I was going with that, because as you know, I have to tell you, Jason, help me track that after I fried my apple.
Yeah.
But they say, probably justifiably, that apple usage is probably much more cocky than BC.
Yeah.
And that's probably one reason why. But I hear you say that there may be less reason to be talking about that now.
It's less, but there's still like 30%, I mean 28% right now versus Windows have the majority. And there's another company called Linux that has, it's open source, that has maybe 3 or 4%. But if Apple gets up to like 50% market share, oh my God, yes, you're going to see them attacking Apple much more frequently.
So there is I just use it occasionally just to double check. I can't even recall the name right now, so that's how rarely I've done it. But there is something that we're going to scan on your Mac.
Yes.
On your Mac.
Yeah. Mac and Apple both have the same kind of features. You usually have some kind of antivirus built in. You can also download an app called Mac X or something like that that you can search for viruses on your Mac as well. What other questions, guys? Well,
I do have one about,
go ahead.
often I have heard and see Facebook has stolen an identity. Or
Yes.
will come up, somebody will say, I have a friend request from Carlson 2, or whatever, particularly recently.
Yeah, I mentioned that earlier. You were
So I'm sorry, I wasn't.
no, that's right. But that's one of those ones where, like, I guarantee that person didn't have two-factor authentication turned on. So turn on two-factor on all your social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest. Turn on your two-factor authentication.
Okay.
Yeah, LinkedIn.
Yeah, and what kind of stuff, maybe talk about what kind of stuff can they track, can they benefit?
It's not so much they track. You can't get your password. And unfortunately, the password you have for your Facebook account, a lot of times it's the same password you have for your email. So that's usually how they get your email and your password for your email account. But more importantly, that person will take over your account, change all the passwords,
Right.
and then start sending out information to all your friends. Says, "Hey, send me $200. I'm having a hard time right now."
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the bad part about social media. That's why I said it's important not to just. Well, it's just Facebook. Well, no, you still need to have two-factor authentication or not.
Sorry, excuse me. And they scan it for all of those, these are the quizzes, what's your mother's maiden name?
Oh, yeah,
Have you
yeah.
ever done these things? What's your first pet's name?
What's your first car in high school?
Like, right, your first car, so they're getting all those hints for
Yeah,
potential
great.
passwords that you're using, and that's, I see people younger than me that
Still do it. Yeah.
post that crap up on Facebook. And
Yes.
I saw.
Yes.
Well, let's thank Jason.
Thank you.
And for those of you who came late, we have all sorts of signs that if you want them to have to put your stickers on for the current date. But I think I have about 20 in between here and my car, so, and we have heavy duty stands, so we have proof that they withstood the last storm. Thanks so much for coming. This was interesting.
Thank you.
Oh, and lunch and learn coming up, second Tuesday in September.
The 10th.
The 10th. It's Tim Unruh, former Salina Journal reporter, still a reporter for a number of things. He's going to talk about how we get our local news. So it's at 12:15 at the library Prescott room downstairs on the 10th of September.
I had to ask her about the library. I was like, the library like the bar or the library?
Well, there's one, if you increase the attendance, we can probably do
Yeah,
that.
I didn't know where the library was.
I'll bet Tim would show up.
Yeah, and we also know it's going to be the second Tuesday in October. Is that's McPherson?
Yes.
Housing project where they've made tiny houses for homeless people and they get them back into jobs. And, so those people are going to be on the second Tuesday of October, which again it's at 12:15 at the library in the Prescott room. Then November,
Women Helping Women.
Women Helping Women, an organization with Rachel Borsch. Again, 12:15 on that Tuesday. So, thanks so much.